Has the head of the SEC's XRP appeal just been exposed? Folks, in today's update, I want to cover the shocking new case complaint that's been put forward and actually sent off to the New York State Bar, exposing George Tenorino, the one that's in charge of the SEC's case against Ripple, signed off on the appeal. And now we have some evidence here that's pretty shocking in regards to what he's been up to. This goes back to our good friend Reggie Middleton in the Veritasium case. Many of you guys have been aware of that one. The Veri tokens, Veritasium was the company. Reggie Middleton was the disruptor in chief. I've had him on the show a couple times. And I had Reggie, along with a couple other community members from the Veritasium community, reach out to me with this evidence, this complaint that they've submitted and sent off to the New York State Bar, exposing and detailing some shocking allegations against George Tenreiro. Tenreiro. I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but this is the head SEC lawyer representing the SEC against Ripple. And he's the same lawyer that went after Reggie Middleton in Veritasium as well. So without further ado, folks, I want to get right on into today's update. Now, I just had a great Discord weekly call this morning. That's every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I meet with my private group. We just had a great conversation going through the situation at hand from the markets, the lawsuit, and then, explaining why we've been hedged. And as I said last week, we had the SEC versus Ripple appeal. We had World War III escalations. We also got hit by the hurricane, the storm, and the damage that's been done in this weather event. Absolutely terrible, but we got another one coming through. So I'm getting ready to line up another prepping call for my community so that we can talk about those skills in a more tactical, detailed fashion. But we've been over the target. We've been preparing, and here once again, another hurricane set to hit landfall on Wednesday. Florida Hurricane Milton coming in as a category 3 or 4 as of today. That's what the predictions are. State of emergency will likely be declared to free up funds. Models showing the major hurricane landfall in 4 short days, hitting west central Florida between Crystal River and Sarasota, Florida. 4 days. That's coming up on Wednesday. So absolutely terrible what just took place there in the Carolinas. Went into this in more detail in this morning's Discord weekly call. They produced some of the purest courts in Western North Carolina. The towns that have been damaged there is just truly incredible. But there's going to be a long process underway to recover, and now we got another storm underway. So the hurricanes are showing up, the storms are showing up. We got a handful of other scenarios. This is why we can, continually to say, we got to stay prepped, we got to stay ready. We're focused on our business and our income, bringing it in, stacking as much of the suppressed assets as possible, the assets that we need, and you see what they're willing to do to get the assets and the commodities that they need. The purest courts in the world being produced there in Western North Carolina. We'll be watching very closely what they do with those towns, what they do with that private property. They're going to pay fair market value when they try to pull eminent domain on those properties. More on that later, and I talked about it more in this morning's Discord weekly call. Like I said, everything's at ZachRector.com. Let's roll. Americans now owe a record $1.14 trillion on their credit cards per the Fed. This is lining up right here as interest rates on the mortgages have popped back up to 6.53%. That's a big one-day move. So what happened is that the bond market sold off the last couple of days of the trading week here in anticipation of inflation coming back. The unemployment rate ticking back down, good jobs numbers. And so now folks are saying, oh, wait, maybe the Fed shouldn't have raised rates if our economy's still getting stronger, unemployment's coming down. And so the bond market sold off, which brought yield up, right? When the bond market's selling off, the yields go up because you need a higher and higher yield to attract buyers of that bond. And so what this is doing is it's pushing up that 10-year treasury, which is what's pegged. Our mortgage rates are pegged basically to the 10-year. And so now our mortgage rates have popped up to 6.53% after they were just down at basically 6.11. That was the year low. September 11, 2024 was coming in at 6.11. Now we're up to 6.53%. So everybody thought that the Fed cutting rates was going to save the day. Hasn't moved the needle at all. And Americans already racked up a record high amount of credit card debt. This is why people don't feel like buying homes. Buying conditions have collapsed to the levels never seen since 1960. So we tracked mortgage demand falling to a level since 1994, worst level in 30 years. Well, when it comes to buying conditions and how people feel about buying a home, We haven't seen it at this level since 1960. So the economy is stalled out. Are we going to hit a technical recession? Are they going to admit that the soft landing might not be achieved? Absolutely not. It's a cover up underway, which is exactly what we got with the jobs reports and the jobs numbers that came out this week. And this is after we've seen the major revisions that they've made. Now they come out with a jobs report and it beats expectations. And then they actually revise some of the past months higher. And it's like everybody, the markets just completely forget the huge lie from last year of 818,000 jobs. They forget that lie. And now we look at today's, this week's jobs data, which comes out as good. And then everybody's cheerleading and we celebrate in the market pumps and we nearly go achieve new all-time highs in the stock market once again. That's how out of touch and out of base our Wall Street market is from what's actually taking place on the ground. These conditions have tightened up in real estate, in the credit market. When it comes to Main Street economy, it is slowing. It is in contraction. The only thing that's still expanding is the folks at the top that can continue to stack assets and acquire more of these assets, continue to print more money. That inflation drives those asset prices higher. And so it's a trade-off of driving asset prices higher versus bringing in real consumer inflation, which is what brings people to the streets. So they want to tame consumer inflation while propping up the asset prices, because then everybody's happy and everybody wants to go vote for whoever's in power and can tout the strong jobs numbers and the high stock market and real estate still trading at all-time highs, right? The Case-Shiller Price Index, and you look at other data points on the average median home selling right now, the prices are still high, but activity has fallen to a level that we haven't seen in 30 years. Buying conditions have fallen to a level that we haven't seen in 40 years. In fact, actually, that would be 60 years, going back to 1960. We haven't seen buying conditions like this in 60 years, mortgage demand like this in 30 years. But because of the way the data is tracked, Case-Shiller Price Index, your median home in the United States has just gone to an all-time high. It's just like the stock market's gone to an all-time high. But these companies are all doing massive layoffs. There's a discrepancy between Wall Street and Main Street, and it's getting more and more clear. Now, in regards to the fight, in regards to the title of tonight's episode here, in regards to the SEC getting exposed, we're doing everything that we can. I want to give a huge shout out here to Ashley Prosper. When I'm not tweeting, I'm sending FOIA requests, and that's Freedom of Information Act requests. It looks calm on the surface, but underneath ripples. And what we see right here is Ashley Prosper sending in FOIA requests, getting it done. Subjects will Billy, that'd be our good friend Billy Boy Hinman, Mark Berger, and others. Valerie, Michael Seaman. You got all these guys. SEC's Division of Corporation of Finance, Division of Enforcement, Division of Trading and Markets. All of them. So Ashley Prosper putting in work right here, making those ripples. This is what it's all about, because now we're being cited in other cases like the Coinbase one right here. Coinbase has asked the judge in its case to certify its interlocutory appeal so that it may present its case to the Second Circuit alongside Ripple. Together, both cases would give the Second Circuit a comprehensive view of the SEC's unlawful approach to crypto. I believe it will be granted. This is Ashley Prosper. And then we see Meta Lawman says another smart move by Coinbase here. It is astounding that Judge Fela never ruled on Coinbase's original motion for interlocutory appeal filed back in April. Those motions are normally ruled on very quickly. The SEC's appeal in Ripple just strengthened Coinbase's argument. So now we get to watch here closely if the judge is going to grant Coinbase interlocutory appeal. Now you'll recall, SEC tried to file interlocutory appeal in the Ripple case and they were denied. They were smacked down by Judge Torres. She said absolutely not. Now, the SEC has filed their official appeal. James Phelan shares it right here. The appeal has been docketed on the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit Pacer docketing system. The case is titled, yep, got it. There's the number. And you have to be a member of the Pacer docketing system to be able to see it. And so that I'm hoping in the next day or so, this will be revealed publicly for us all to see. The official application form C, the official appeal, and we'll be able to see the reasoning for why the SEC has appealed. But if Coinbase is granted interlocutory appeal, SEC appeals, the Second Circuit would have two cases that really represent the overreach by the SEC, that really represent the SEC trying to say that these assets, in and of themselves are investment contracts. And maybe they're going to go after the programmatic sales. Maybe they're going to go after the other distributions. The 5 things that they can appeal on are those: the programmatic sales, the other distributions. They can go after the penalty. They can try to appeal on the injunction. And they also can try for a disgorgement as well. They weren't granted any disgorgement because no harm, no foul. Nobody lost money. Everybody made money, a lot of money. Second point, injunction. Judge said, don't violate Section 5. Pretty broad, pretty general. And really, it's all that needs to be done. Follow the law. With your investment contracts to institutions, you didn't. Those should have been registered as investment contract securities offerings. That's where you messed up. Here's your speeding ticket, $125 million. SEC could appeal on that and suggest a larger penalty. We'll see what they end up appealing. That should be coming out in the next couple of days. But at the forefront of this legal battle is our XRP community, Ripple, the legal assassins that they've hired. All of this put together, now we have Coinbase, the Grayscale case that have all exposed them, along with the Debtbox case. And I'm about to show you the Veritasium case and the Very token holders, what they've done as well and how they're ready to contribute to the good fight here shortly, after I show you this tweet right here from Stuart Aderati, which summarizes exactly where we're at in this 4th industrial revolution. Which industry was subject to early speculation, corruption, and bankruptcy before eventual consolidation by a few good actors, resulting in the mass adoption of transformative innovation? Was it the internet of the 90s? Was it the railroads of the 1800s? Was it cryptocurrency today? Or was it all of the above and basically every major industrial revolution, technology revolution that we've had in mankind? The same thing always happens. Early speculators get wrecked. There's a lot of corruption. Some folks go bankrupt. But what emerges is the few good actors and players, participants in these industries, in these revolutions. They take a hold of this thing, and they are the ones that bring real utility, real value, and they're the ones that thrive and eat up most of the market. That's how Ripple's positioned. That's how XRP's positioned. Now, I want to get right on into this. So I was sent this by Riz, Sovereign Riz, here on X. And I was also reached out to Reggie Middleton, sent me a DM, and I think I'm going to get Reggie back on the show here shortly. I told Reggie that I was going to deep dive this weekend. I've not had time to deep dive it yet, but I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention right away because this could help us exposing the SEC. In this case, this is a official New York bar complaint against George Tenriro for professional misconduct and tortious interference. Exclusive. Head of SEC's XRP appeal scrutinized for overreach. So you'll remember, here's the appeal. George Tenriro, right here, signing off, respectfully submitted. Here's the appeal. A bar complaint has been formally filed against George Tenriro by the same very token holders that submitted an amicus brief to Judge Torres in the XRP case. Mr. Tenriro was the SEC's senior trial counsel in the case against XRP, Very, and TON, serving as the enforcement counsel to SEC Chair Gary Gensler, and has since been promoted to acting chief of the U.S. SEC Crypto Asset and Cyber Unit. The bar complaint alleges serious misconduct in the SEC versus Reggie Middleton case, comparing the egregious actions to the false and misleading evidence used to issue a TRO, temporary restraining order, in the SEC versus Debtbox case. Remember, this is the case where the SEC was sanctioned, they lied, and this is the letter from J.D. Vance, Tom Tillis, Hagerty, Loomis, and Katie Britt, in which they stated, quote, "It is difficult to maintain confidence that other cases are not predicated upon dubious evidence, obfuscations, or outright misrepresentations. The allegations in the Debtbox case echoed in the bar complaint reveal concerning parallels in the SEC's tactics that have led to the destruction of businesses and impacted the lives of many token holders. These claims highlight what may be a systemic pattern of misconduct under Mr. Tenriro's leadership. Given the sweeping nature of these allegations, ranging from misleading the court to witness coercion, the potential financial impact on cryptocurrency projects and their token holders cannot be overstated. If substantiated by a proper review of the evidence provided in the complaint, the potential outcome of widespread participation could prompt legal reviews of SEC actions and open the door for revisiting past cases in which Mr. Tenriro played a pivotal role. This alleged misconduct has damaged the broader crypto industry by stifling innovation and wiping out the value of projects, resulting in substantial financial loss for token holders. These are some of the very people the SEC claims to protect. John Deaton recently stated that SEC's misconduct and gross overreach cost small retail investors over $15 billion. And remember, that's just in the XRP lawsuit. Now I'm going to show you guys the official complaint here from Very Dow. They give you a whole background and overview, and they list off basically 4 things: false and unsubstantiated claims, allegation of false claims about platform operability and functionality. You scroll on down here, they list off the rules that he violated. Second one was manipulative trading activity. Also got that. They cite the expert witness, Patrick Doody, supplemental declaration. They got all the receipts right here. They've put together something very interesting here: misappropriation and dissipation of assets allegations, ownership of the Kraken cryptocurrency account, 1, SEC complaint and emergency temporary restraining order application, 2, declaration of George Tenriro in support of the SEC application for a TRO, the SEC expert witness, Patrick Doody, in his first declaration. And they even cite the fact that Mr. Doody, well, of course, he went on to go join a law firm representing cryptocurrency companies, just like so many of them. Doody's supplemental declaration, FOIA request showing no communications with Kraken, failure to subpoena Kraken, blockchain tracing capabilities, fraud analysis, a breakdown of the fraud elements and how the evidence fits each prong. I mean, this is very detailed. Like I said, I haven't had time to deep dive this yet, but folks, it looks like, combined with the very token holders, with what we're doing over here in the XRP community, with what Coinbase is doing, fighting on behalf of the industry, what Grayscale and a few others, there's only a few others in this space that have really fought. We are making incredible breakthroughs and victories in the courts. Now we're starting to bring forward complaints. We have the Office of the Office of Inspector General at the SEC that's supposed to be conducting an ongoing investigation. We're still waiting for the results from that. We're making headwinds, and we're really starting to break through this whole process of exposing the SEC. This is just one head lawyer. We already had the Director of Enforcement step down last week, 1 hour before the notice of appeal was filed. We're exposing them all, and the ultimate thing here is going to be when Trump gets back in office and he fires Gary Gensler. See, it's all culminating right here for major victories in the Ripple lawsuit, major victories in other cryptocurrency cases where they do actually have a strong case like Coinbase and others. But you've seen many in this space have decided to just give up, bend over, take it, cut a check, shut down their business, and move on to their next project or next stage of their life. In regards to the XRP community, in regards to the very token holders, they've put together an incredible fight. Coinbase is fighting right now. And together, we need to bring about accountability for the SEC, and we will. All part of the XRP documentary. We're just getting started. XRP will be going viral. You know what that means for XRP price. For those of you investors that just want to see XRP price goes up, this is part of it. Now, unfortunately, we're in this legal battle, but it had to be this way. And the pain that it brings now, the reward on the other side of this thing is going to be glorious. So hang on in there. Let's keep up the fight. It is red folder season. I tell you that right now. It is just starting to pick up here. Major victories. We're going to continue to apply pressure. If you're with me, make sure you tap it, you smack it, and that's that thumbs up for us. Appreciate you for doing that. While you share it out far and wide, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates and so that you can join the fight with us against our overreach of not only the 3-letter agency, the SEC, but a bigger bureaucracy beast. Let's go save our country. Let's do it together. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.